Dr. Trevor Wilkins says, Gen Pop, brave, band hammer loaded. I like that. That's like one of those, have you seen those axes that have like shotgun shells in them? For people that don't know how to use an axe, that when they go to split the wood, the round goes off and it splits the wood for them. Yeah. Do. What's up, Grid Down, Comms Up, Scuba Mom 5x5. What's up, everybody? Hi, I'm Bear from the internet, and I didn't get to talk with y'all this morning. We didn't get to hang out this morning because I was traveling. Mechmaster, shalom, Mechmaster. Look at your screen. I'm reading it. Bless you, brother. And beautiful note that you put in there as well. Gorgoroth drum covers. Man, it's been a long time since I listened to Gorgoroth. Anyway, we didn't get to chat this morning because I was traveling to the Midwestern Preparedness Festival, or Midwestern Preparedness Project. I got to get better at that. What's up, Silver Crane? Shalom, brother. Midwestern Preparedness Project. MWPP, MWAP. I'm here at MWAP, and I figured, you know what? It's not quite my bedtime, but maybe we could hang out a little bit and do a little bit of Q&A. And so the Q&A, the rules are very basic. If you're on Patreon, you're familiar with the Q&A rules because we do this every week. Oi, hello, says the Bat Mom. But we don't do Q&A on YouTube with Gen Pop as often as we do on Patreon. So the rules are very basic. Rule number one is everybody's gonna be cool. It's as simple as that. Everybody's gonna be cool. You be cool to me. I'll be cool to you. You guys be cool to each other in the chat. Buckets and Bibles. What's up, my brother? Everybody's gonna be cool. If you can't be cool, you'll be escorted out. You know, this live stream is worth the price that you paid for it, which is $0. So that's rule number one. Everybody be cool. Rule number two, also very basic. Put your comments, your questions, if you would like me to ask them, in all capitals. And then in all caps, that increases the likelihood that I will see them. And if I see them and I want to answer them, I will. If I see them and I don't want to answer them, I won't. And if I can't see them, I can't answer them. And and I reserve the right to refer you to one of my 7,000 plus other pieces of content. Cool. Them's the rules. And for whatever reason, I can't make the live stream pull up on my other existential crisis rectangle. Yo, what's up, Homie Biscuits? You're awesome. You want to do life together? Maybe have like 4 whole kids together and like build a chicken coop and grow a garden and eat some sheep and raise some cows and like run companies together and grow old together and sit on the porch in a rocking chair, sip some lemonade, maybe spiked with a little bourbon on occasion, you know, pinch each other's butts. What do you say? What do you say? Bear, I watched your Jeremiah 6 vid twice and I'm all confused. Thanks. What's up, the toe cutter, Nick? Cool. Now watch Jeremiah 7. Say hi to your baby. Hello, my baby. Hello, little squish. Squishy's at home. Daddy is not. But that's okay. That'll be home soon. Ain't no thing. And I got brothers watching my 6. So everything will be tremendous, wonderful. Believe it, that baby is so safe. Safer than Middle Eastern New Jersey, I will tell you that. We put a $80 billion price tag on the protection of that baby. Priceless, that one. Can't lose it. Won't lose it. No tunnels, no Hamas, no Mexicans. Bear, favorite 308 round. M118LR is 175 grain Sierra Match Kings is what most of my 308s prefer, but then also the 168 grain boat tip hollow point in some of them tends to go better. And so that's weird because like every gun is an individual. It doesn't really necessarily matter what your twist rate is or your barrel length is. Like those things matter, but they're each still individuals. And so like I have like for example, one of my Palmetto AR-10s, it shoots 175 grain Sierra Match Kings into like a 2.5 inch group at 100 from a bench rest. And it's like, oof, that's not very good because that's awesome ammo. But it shoots like 1.1 MOA with 168 grain. So you just find the ammo it likes. And then like 308 for what? For precision or for hunting? Because those AMAX rounds are phenomenal for hunting. And then maybe it's suppressive fire, in which case, who cares? Let's just FMJ. Let's just FMJ this thing, right? Bear, if you still need, what's up, Paul? If you still need those logs brought home, I think Matt Cremono YouTube channel has a mill that will easily handle those for y'all. 100%. That's a Grindstone question. I know we transferred some logs. Have you tried the Norma rounds made from tin? No, I have not. How well does the bark box work? Chris, great question. The bark box is a bolt-on muffler cover for Steel, Husqvarna, John Sered, maybe some other brands. Are there any other brands? Steel. You bolt it onto a steel chainsaw like a man. And they're on all of my saws and most of Grindstone saws because a two-stroke engine chainsaw is it's an air pump. That's what it is. It's an air pump. We're using a little bit of fuel to cycle the engine to have an explosion that makes the piston go up and down, which turns the crankshaft, which turns the clutch, which turns the chain. So the more you let it breathe, the more air it's gonna pump, the more RPMs, the more horsepower, the more torque it's gonna make. And so when you put that muffler cover on there, and there are others, man, from other off-the-shelf products to, you know, taking out your TIG welder and making something cool. But what I like about the West Coast bark box is it's 4 screws. You take the 4 screws out, you take the old muffler cover off, you put the new muffler cover on, tighten down 4 screws again, and it's like an instant 10 to 15% increase in power, in horsepower, base horsepower. And that, like, for a hundo, for $100, that's money well spent. Because everything's $100 now. I was just talking with my brothers about this earlier today. Oh, you want to put gas in the truck? $100. You and 3 buddies are gonna go just get lunch at a standard grubbin pub. That's $100. Like everything is $100. RJ Maverick. Bear, I've been working for my dad doing concrete work for over 20 years. He's the biggest asshole I ever met. How do I get out before it's too late? Oof. Okay. So I know nothing about the relationship between you and your father, but I do know this in the spirit that what we dislike intensely about other people is what we dislike intensely about ourselves. And generally speaking, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So whether you stay there or not, you need to be compassionate to your dad, and you can honor your father without approving the way they behave. Ask me how I know. And the way that you get out, if you need to get out, if it's the father's will for you to get out, is you go. You have a hard conversation, but an honest conversation. The truth hurts once. Bullshit hurts every day. Okay? I learned that from that phrase, that exact phrase from a mentor recently, and it's completely correct. You have a hard conversation. You say, Pops, I love you. I can't keep doing this anymore. And I don't know why you're such a jerk, but I'd love to get enough standoff from you that I can understand why you are such a jerk, because I love you. And because I love you and I also love me too, I can't stay here. I can't stay here. And that's the conversation. Is this a man channel, Carol? Well, yes, sweetie, I am a man. That's me. Hold on, scrolling through the chat. Doot. Amazing how dad has a way of telling you no. I was gonna mow my yard and he's like, nope, you're gonna be with the people. Here we are. Bee sting, instant pain, no issues after. Thanks, Bear, for the word. Yeah, you're welcome. If you bought a Refuge medical kit that qualified in April for the virtual class, are you automatically enrolled, Butler Homestead? Yes, you are. You will get an email prior to class with details on the virtual class. I've seen, Aaron, I saw the, hey, I forgot rule 2.5. Please don't spam the chat. Okay? Please don't spam the chat. Did you change out the air filter as well? Chris Watkins, no. On most of my saws, no. On a couple of my saws, just an upgraded, pleated air filter. Not the big, you gotta pour oil on it air filter. I've thought about it. It seems a little impractical for me. I want to grab my saw and cut. I don't want like, well, there's a little too much oil on the filter. It's a long, I don't want, I don't very well. So, do. Any good resources for repressed childhood trauma that resurfaces after decades? Yes, James Atlee, the Angry Viking Therapist. The Angry Viking Therapist, Dr. Trevor Wilkins. Schedule a session. Scheduling a session is the reason that I am still here, because I was like, hey, you know what's cool? Self-deletion. Turns out that wasn't cool. And yeah, sometimes you need professional help. So have a conversation. Have you ever read the book, Don't Split the Difference by Chris Voss, the FBI negotiator? Everything you want in life is just on the other side of a conversation. And sometimes that conversation is with yourself. Sometimes it's with somebody who knows more about a problem set that you're faced with than you do. Sometimes it's with your dad who's been an asshole for 20 years. Sometimes it's, what's up, Medic Mass? Shalom, bro. AVT. Thanks. You're welcome. Thank you. You do awesome work, brother. And I am very proud to call you friend. Holly is Holly stalking? What's Holly doing? Holly, don't stalk me, bro. I'm in love. What's up, Scuba? I'm in love with my 261. Did a muffler mod. It ran super smooth and quick on deployment in Mississippi and Grindstone. 100%. When looking for land, what should be top priorities? John Cena, the wrestler? Whoa, John Cena. You should just hire a professional if you get all that wrestling money, bro. John Cena, 999. We've done at least a dozen videos on this on Patreon. And just a slight shameless plug. Patreon's $10 a month. It's 30 cents a day. How much does land cost? How much would land cost? And see, and here's the thing, right? Like when you sign on to Patreon and you make a Patreon account, every video we've ever done on Patreon is there. Forever, in perpetuity. And then you use the little search bar and you put in land, and oh look, 12.5 bear videos on how to select land for homesteading, for timber production, for agricultural production, all the things, right? And so if you're going to spend whatever, if it's more than $10 on land, it's a reasonable investment to spend $10 over there and have access to all of the experiences that we've had over the last 7 years coming out of North Texas and coming to Eastern Oklahoma and building on land and chicken coops and turkeys and cows and sheep and kids and building bridges and harvesting timber and all the things. So I would recommend that. That's money well spent. Okay. Okay. So the purpose of the land, says Stephen, is to hide the bodies on. Cool. Well, in this case, we're not overly concerned about, the status of the soil, right? Access, egress, how the water flows. But if I'm looking at land, I'm looking to buy land. One of the first things I'm looking at is, what is the 100-year floodplain? What's up, Spicy Snafu? I've been wearing your hat all day today. Look, I got it. It's right over here. What does the 100-year floodplain look like? Oh, I chuck it on the floor. Me so sorry. I haven't even had a drop of whiskey yet. So, Spicy snafu in the house. Thank you, brother. Okay. So when you get one of those 100-year rains that only happens every 100 years on average, except that it doesn't. We had two 200-year rains in our first season on property. I had a rack of 2x4s, 196 2x4s wash away. Had a unit of plywood, 70 sheets wash away. 2 cords of firewood washed away. Part of the bridge washed away. Everything just washed away. Because there's a 100-year rain. It's pretty uncommon, right? Except when you get two in a season. So where's the 100-year floodplain? There's that. What does access and egress look like? Can I get in and out? And like with the vehicle that I currently have, can I get in and out? And not just on the property, but where on property can I get with the vehicle that I have right now? Access to power, water, and more every day, a high-speed internet. Although Starlink is kind of changing the game on that. Although a lot of remote jobs require you to have a physical connection. What's up, NWA Prepper? Shalom, bro. It's like a family reunion up in here. You gotta have a physical connection. Like the wire has to plug into the side of your house. It's actually not a wire. It's an optical cable made of glass, 1/10 the diameter of a human hair, that sends messages at the speed of light across a T1 multiplexer that then converts it back into electrical signals on small copper wires, 26 wire gauge copper wires. But that's a whole nother story. Who cares about T1 multiplexers? You got to be connected, right? You can't beep, boop, beep the signal off of the ionosphere or up into the low Earth orbit satellites. What's up, tribesman? Shalom, bro. So for remote work, many employers require a wired connection. And so is there a wired connection in the area? What's that going to cost? What do the schools look like if you have kids in schools? What are the historical property taxes on the property? And then what do I want to do here? So the better land is, the more it's going to cost. The less good land is, that's a technical term, less good. The less good land is, the less it's going to cost. And so a lot of times you see like, there's a deal on land, man. It's only $1,200 an acre because it's on the side of a mountain with no access, no easements, no power. It's going to cost you $50,000 to drill a well. That's another thing. Look at the county that you're going to buy in many cases, is required to keep records of all the wells in the county, and they'll have an average well depth. Okay. What is that? Is it 100 feet or is it 800 feet? Then you call the well driller and say, how much per foot is it to put a well in? They go, oh, it's $50 a foot right now. Okay, well, if it's 100 feet, 50 times 100, that's $5,000, right? And is that cased, right? What about all the hardware, the pressure tank and the pump? And then I got to put a little shed around this thing. So we're $10,000 into this thing for a well. And so one of the things I recommend is find a piece of property, even if it has a fallen down piece of trash house on it. If it has a well and it has a septic tank and it's got a power drop, man, that's $50,000 maybe in utilities and subsurface utilities and prep work that you don't have to do. You can knock the house into a pile, dig a trench around it, spray the trench full of water, set the thing on fire, and I'm ahead $50,000. So all those things, looking for rural land. And then if you're looking for rural land because you want to be around good people, how do you define good people? You know, can you do a little thing? Just spent $20,000 on a 250-foot well in PA. So that's $125 a foot. There you go. But then there's other variables. Cased, not cased, 6-inch well, 8-inch well, 10-inch well, 10-inch well. Oh my goodness, etc., etc. And so, please pray for me, Kenneth Walden. We're gonna need more details, brother. Assuming you're a brother, Kenneth, and if you're not a brother, but your name's Kenneth, then we got some other things to pray about. So, all those things, just the tip of the iceberg of what I would look at if I'm buying land. And so we're in Kansas right now at MWAP, Midwestern Preparedness Project, or at least we will be tomorrow. You're welcome, John Cena. And everybody is just so dang nice here. They're just so nice. Like Midwestern saccharine. I got diabetes just from talking to the people because they're so nice, you know? And I'm like, that's awesome, but I'm not that nice. I don't think I could fit in around here. I'm like, if I slip up and say anything other than, oh, tiddlywinks, I think I'm going to get in trouble, you know? And so exactly what kind of people are you looking for? You sure you're not in Canada? I'm 100% sure. I've seen 0 maple syrup or mousse, and I did not cross an imaginary line in the snow. Plus, it didn't take that long to drive here from eastern Oklahoma. So, yo, whippersnapper, what's up, Kermode? Shalom, brother. Scrolling through the chat. And remember, listen, beloved, there are 524 of y'all here, and there's 1 of me. So please don't take it personally if I don't see your comment, okay? Because it's just 1 of me. I could loop Dudley in, but like he's in the other room. He's got to rest. He just like fell asleep a little bit on the ride up here. He's doing his cute little Dudley snores in the truck. I got to let him rest. Speaking of whiskey, another bottle of blue or request. What's up, Jake Tripp? Hey, man, bless you. Go where the spirit leads. Right, tonight's beverage of choice is a handle of Maker's Mark that one of y'all gave me. Bless you. And so our first sip of the evening, shall we? Would you call yourself a pastor? You drink whiskey? Yeah, I'm having a little sip. The first one in weeks. I had a couple of beers the other night, Saturday night with family, and then I had some wine at First Fruits. Passover unleavened bread, First Fruits. So it's like a month ago. So first sip of whiskey in a while. Love the beverage of choice. Thank you, Jim. What's up, Jimmy Cart? You got it. I will have a sip for you. What are your thoughts on copper wire antennas in the garden? Andrew Massey, I have no idea. I've never done it. It looks super intriguing, and I just don't know. But I keep seeing this like little reel of this guy who's like, these are my marigolds in my garden. They're dying. And then I put a copper antenna in here, and here they are 4 days later. They look great. And it's like, or dude just watered them and sprinkled some fertilizer on them to make a cool reel, and it had nothing to do with the antenna. I don't know. What's up, Gabe? George is drinking Screwball. You do your thing. Well, my hemoglobin has been at nearly fatal levels twice this year. Add to that, I have 2 days to get out of my apartment and find a new one I've not even signed for yet. Okay, let's lift that up, shall we? That's very specific. Here we go. Father Yahweh, Father, thank you for the opportunity to humbly come before your throne and ask in an intercessory fashion for provision and blessing and healing for our brother Kenneth. Father, you are sovereign over all things, and you work on our behalf, oftentimes unforeseen, which most of the time we take for granted. And so, Father, we're just asking humbly that you would help fix Kenneth's hemoglobin, that you would keep him here, be it your will. Father, that your will would be that you're not done with him yet. And Father, if you are done with him, usher him into the kingdom and let him hear the phrase, well done, good and faithful servant. And Father, make a place for him to live. The birds of the field have a place to land, a place to lay their head, but the Son of Man has nothing. But you are sovereign over all things, Father, and we know that you are working and that all things work for the good of those that love you. So I guess more than anything, Father, build trust in Kenneth, that he would come to know you better through this process, that his relationship with you would deepen, and that he would have bitachon, complete and utter reliance on you. And maybe that's the lesson here. By taking away his lodging and his health, he has no choice but to cry out to you. And so, Father, I pray that you would hear his voice, hear his cries, and that you would turn your face to shine upon him. Father Yah, we love you, and we know that there is no problem too big for you to solve. And so we ask these things for our brother Kenneth, in Yeshua's name. Amen. Josephus says, not hearing T cuss is weird. Hey man, I'm trying. I'm genuinely trying. I You know me. I love the bad words. I love them. And I have been reproved and instructed by many people, a handful of which have been brothers, for a long time. For a long time. And I have never been convicted until recently. When a brother of mine came to me, we were at a midrash at church, and a lot of us we have a storied past. And ask me about the Hopi prophecies one more time. I dare you. Okay. And many of us have a storied past, and we've lived a lot of life. And so we were gathered in Midrash, and on this particular occasion, several of us, how's the sabbatical going? Oh, it's going great. Don't ask me why I'm in Kansas. Several of us let several four-letter words slip. And an elder brother asked for a moment of my time afterwards. And with tears in his eyes, he said, look, I get it. I understand. We all come from different places. We all have different backgrounds. Everybody's got a different story, has been there and done that. And he said, I even let some words slip on occasion. He said, but we cannot be talking like that when we are assembled in the name of the Yod He Vav He, Elohim, the creator of the heavens and the earth. And he said this to me with tears in his eyes, while loving me, while reproving me. And for the first time ever, it hit. And so I am trying. I am not perfect, but I'm trying. And it's interesting because those words are, I think it was Sarah that said, sentence enhancers. Thank you, Biffer. And they are. Oh, and I can go there. Get me really pissed off, or let's just play with chainsaws and heavy equipment, and it's going to be more expletives than not. But if we're assembled here in the name of the Most High Yahweh, I should probably just try it just a little bit to die to ourselves daily, perhaps, and maybe not do the comfortable things that we're used to, but to have a quickening of the spirit, to expand our capabilities, maybe slightly into the nice column, which, as y'all know, I'm not a nice guy. So, no, Jonathan Stevens, at this time, there is not. Grace and peace, yo. Wondering if there'd ever be a week or two block where I could attend the majority of the classes offered at Refuge HQ, medical radio, tactics, etc. So we are working on that. And we're shifting the model when it comes to Refuge training, where when we train, we will train a week at a time. And then you can buy the week's worth of training. Boop, buy now, done. You're signed up for everything. Or you can a la carte that thing and just get whatever blocks of instruction you want to get. We're not quite there yet. We're figuring that out, but that is the goal. So right now, we don't have anything on the books for that yet, but that is the direction that we are moving. I am also really, really pleased to announce that Refuge is now what is called an approved learning center, aka accredited through the ECSI, which is the Emergency Care and Safety Institute, and that Medic Mike is a certified instructor with them, and that going forward, keyword here, going forward, our classes will be ECSI accredited and can contribute towards continuing education credits, continuing education units, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's huge. It's a really big deal for us. So yeah, HSA. So the kits are HSA eligible, Chris W. The training is not, and I have tried for years. And the problem is there's one of me fighting against a multi-trillion-dollar insurance agency, or insurance industry rather, that has simply decided that training is not HSA, FSA eligible. I've tried. I've gone so far as like, what if, hear me out, you buy a trainer kit for whatever the class cost, and you get the in-person class for free when you buy a trainer kit. And it's like, man, that's sure right on the edge of bearing false witness. So training is not HSA, FSA eligible, but the kits are. Yeah, exactly. Who said that? Kevin, they'll pay for the kit, but not learning how to use it. I know, man. Christina Ross, love you back. But not like in a weird way, like a sister way, okay? Warthog, what happened to porch sitting? Well, the porch is on the back of our old house that we don't live in anymore. And I haven't demolished yet and scavenged the porch off of the back of the old house. So, Raincat, ever drink Drambuie whiskey? Yeah, somebody gave me a bottle of that, I don't know, at Self-Reliance Festival, I think, in the fall, spring. Guys, I go a lot of places. Whenever I was at Self-Reliance Festival last time, it was in the fall. Somebody gave me a bottle of Drambuie, and I've had it before then. There used to be some kind of concoction back in the day that my dad would make on a rare occasion, where he'd have a couple of fingers of Chivas Regal and just a little splash of Drambuie. I don't know if that's something he came up with or if it has a name, but early on in my shenaniganry, what I could drink is what I could steal from Dad. And so stealing from Dad oftentimes meant guys were drinking this Drambuie stuff. It's a little weird. No, I'm working on Grandpa Charlie's unit. I don't have it yet. I asked my mom and she's looking into it. Do 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 do. Thank you, Trevin. So there will be more porch stuff in the future. I have a front porch on the new house now, and it's where the front porch is where me and my wife sit at the end of the day and watch the sunset and hold the baby and rock in our rocking chairs. It's ours. I will put a back porch on the new house right when I have the revenue to do so, because everything's $100 now, right? Oh, you want one board of Trex? That'll be $100. So when I have the disposable income to do so, I will add another porch and do it at that time. And then we'll do that thing that we do where we put chairs on a tripod with a sideways iPhone on it, and we'll just hang out and talk. But we ain't there yet. And we don't hang out at the old house anymore because it's the old house. It really needs to get smashed into a pile before I have to go to war with the county tax guy. So, Farmhouse Quiltery, nursing CEUs? Not yet. We're not yet. I'll probably do a module at some point on what will look like austere environment, prolonged field care, and SHTF nursing. But that we're talking, that's probably a 2026 module at this point. The module that we are in the process of putting together for this fall is, the outline is 4 days long. There are 16 scenarios. It's a 72-hour in-field training. It's going to be awesome. Austere overnight, twice medic mouse. There's 3 daylight phases, 2 low light, no light phases. So, and an infill and an exfill. So think about like wilderness austere medicine coupled with bug out bag shakedown kind of thing. So I know some guys from Grindstone that can demo your house for you. Yeah, 100%. Here's the thing though, those guys have been hooked up, man. They've been so busy demoing at everybody else's house. So, yeah, they've been a little busy. And honestly, like, I'm a normal person, guys. Like, I only have so much disposable revenue as well. The hauling it off to the dump and paying the dump fees for an entire house, that's where it's like, that's the real friction right now. And the last thing I'm gonna do is take Grindstone money to pay to have my house hauled off. Like, that's not kosher. I don't even, it's stealing is what it is. It's stealing, and I'm not doing that. Like, you can't. Oh, it's fine. We just demolished Bear's old house and hauled it to the dump, and the dump fees were $20,000 or whatever. Like, nah. But a good bonfire right next. See, that's now we're getting in the right direction, and so now we're getting in the right direction. God forbid you use ethical business practices. I know, right, Shafty? And that's the thing. Literally, God forbid, because I'm more afraid of him. Fear meaning deep respect in the Hebrew connotation. I'm more afraid of him than I am of y'all, and I have accountability to y'all. Our 990s are tax forms, like what we spend money on each quarter and each year. They're posted at the website. They're public. They have to be if you have a nonprofit organization, a 501c3. And so, like, the room for shenanigans is minimal to zero, and we like it that way. But I'm mostly accountable, primarily accountable is a better word, to the creator of the universe. And if he puts something in my hand to help y'all and I use it to help me instead, that's stealing. And thou shalt not. That's one of the big 10, bro. That's Exodus 20. Thou shalt not. Okay. And then imagine you do that and you try and cover it up. Now you're bearing false witness. Right? So now it starts cascading, right? Yeah, and it's on and on and on from there. And then all of a sudden you're like, I don't know where it all fell apart. It fell apart when you demoed your house with Grindstone resources and spent God's money to take care of your stuff instead of somebody else's stuff. Because the reason he gave it to you was not for you to demo your house. It's so that when you roll up on somebody's house after a hurricane or a tornado that has no insurance, has no money, didn't know how they were going to buy groceries last week, and this week has literally nothing in the physical world, you spent that money that you should have used to help that single mom or that retired grandpa who's taking care of his grandkids or whoever on your own BS. That's idolatry too, isn't it? I made me more important than him. So, yeah, we ain't doing that. Bonfire. What's up, Russell? What up, Bear? God bless you. Hope to join Grindstone on deployment later this year. Need basic CPR knowledge and more chainsaw skills. Suggestions. Dude, that's perfect. Sign up for the Grindstone email blast because literally Grindstone is teaching those classes this summer at the Grindstone National Training Center in Oklahoma. And so, like, if you're on the approved list of Grindstone volunteers, you just come to class. Like, I need more chainsaw skills. Awesome. We're doing like a 2-day, 3-day demo on tree felling and like how to run heavy equipment so that we don't kill each other, injure things, break things, like all that. I need CPR. Awesome. I kind of know the guy that's going to be teaching the medical blocks of instruction over there at Grindstone. See what I'm saying? So yeah, I would get on the Grindstone approved volunteer list ASAP. And the way you do that is you go to grindstoneministries.com, you reach out via the website, and then the ball starts rolling from there. Salson. Warthog. TJ, with respect, when's the last time you took time out for you and yours? This past weekend. We had a high school graduation. We had family in town from Texas and from California and from Washington State. And we just did some porch sitting and hanging out and talking. Let's see, what do we do Sunday? More hanging out, chilling, talking. Saturday, Shabbat, for myself, because sometimes I need a little breathing room too. I went over to the church building and I played 90 minutes on the new church drum set, which I paid for out of pocket. Didn't spend anybody's money on that. Definitely didn't spend congregation money on it. 90 minutes behind that drum set, playing worship music, but playing it heavy, not the way it was recorded. And I turned the loudspeakers on, and I was blasting music through the front of the house while playing drums to it up on the stage, and just, I mean, I mean, some of the, let's see the tracks. What did I play? There's a great one, man. The brother Heath put me on to. Like, this should be a metal song. It's by Rick Pino, Come Make War. I'm going to be covering that song for sure. That, Psalm 121, How Great Is Our God, and then by Joshua Aaron, so it's got the Hebrew in it as well, Gadol Elohai, right? You ever heard that? How Great Is Our God? With like scathing double bass. Yeah, that was awesome. Hosanna by Hillsong. Hillsongs are, I know, listen, I'm not co-signing any of these artists or anything. I'm just saying, like, they've got some good tracks. Somebody on the most recent video that I put up, Arcturus video playing drums, somebody made a comment like, satanic death metal? It's like, you're so retarded. Arcturus isn't satanic. They're a black metal band, not death metal. It's like, nice try. You know, like, I get it. You don't like the vocals. That's fine. I'm not asking you to like the vocals. And that's one of the things that people don't understand about metal. In almost every other genre, the vocalist is the prime focus. In metal, it's not. The vocalist in metal acts like a percussionist and creates accentation throughout the track. And then they shift their pitch from low to high to match the octaves of whatever the harmonies are in the song. The vocalist is an accompanist in metal. They're not the main feature. It's accentation, both from a rhythm perspective and from harmony perspective as well. The vocals are not the prime thing. And so I get it all the time. People are like, I can't believe you like this. It's like, stop listening to the vocals, man. Know Any Believers songs. Rick S. Yeah, dude, go look at the drum playlist, bro. There's a bunch of them on there. George, get out of here. Could your church make use of a 32-channel analog Mackie board? 100%. I've been trying to, bro. Straight up, that would literally be answered prayer. I'm a Mackie guy. I was just telling Todd, the sound guy at MWAP, Midwestern Preparedness Project, earlier today. I'm like, I'm a Mackie guy, man. I've been looking at this 32-channel Mackie board. I've tried to buy it twice, and out of my own pocket because it was on sale, and both times it got refunded back to me because it wasn't in stock. George, hey man, if you're willing to part with it, yeah, praise Yah. That's amazing. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, says Dudley. Yeah, man. What's up, Tuna? Battle horns sound far below. That stuff shook me. Crazy. Broadhead. Guess who wrote that song? Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Top 3 worship songs you're currently listening to. Charity Gale, Throne Room. It's a Heath recommendation. Come Make War by Rick Pino. That's a Heath recommendation. And man, a constant go-to for me. And understand, like, I don't really listen to music unless I have anticipation of playing music. And it's weird because, like, many of you guys, like, everybody makes snap judgments. Like, you observe a human and you're like, oh, they do this, this, and this. Check, got it. That's just who they are. For the last 6 years, 9 months, I have not shared with y'all the fact that I'm a musician on top of all the other things that I do, because music is deeply personal to me. Like, deeply, deeply, deeply personal to me. And so I haven't shared that until the creator of the universe started punching me in the face, saying, that's not yours. That's mine, and I just lent it to you. Go serve my kingdom. I'm like, oh, I don't want to. He's like, cool. Did I stutter? no. So like I hadn't played for anyone in years. And I was at what we call the studio. It's a different office where my big drum set is, my big metal kit. And I sit down and I'm going to play some worship music. And the Spirit said, call Bob. It's like, I don't want to call Bob. It's like, call Bob. And so I shot Bob a text. And I was like, hey, I don't know. I know you're over at the other office. You're working. I don't know what you got going on. But like, if you want to come over here, I'm supposed to play a worship song for you. And they're like a minute apart in location. And so he was there 2 minutes later and he's like, what's up? And I was like, put these headphones on. And he did. And I played. And I was so nervous. It's like shaking. It's just crazy. Because what I played is a song I played 1,000 times. It's oh, where'd you go? Natalie Grant, Your Great Name, up tempo, little metal version. I play that song with my eyes closed. Literally, I do play that song with my eyes closed. Play that song in the pitch black, no problem, without thinking. And I was just shaking, Spirit. I got done, and I had tears in my eyes. Bob was standing there with his eyes closed, and he opened his eyes. He was like, that was awesome, brother. Thank you. What a cool job that you can just have a worship session in the middle of the day. I was like, man, thank you. I had to share that with you. And then after that, I started very reluctantly recording songs on camera, on drums for y'all. Because Dad said so. And so, anywho, the fact that I'm a musician is a facet of me that I have not gone out of my way to share with y'all. Frankly, have kept from y'all for a long time. Oh, that's a great question, Silver Crane. What is your drummer Mount Rushmore? Mine's Nicholas Barker, Hellhammer, Gene Hoglan, and Paul. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'd probably trade out, for me personally, I'd probably trade out Paul for Trim from Emperor and 1349 and 100 other bands. He's just Ringo. No, Jimmy James. Pert, no, I mean, was Pert good? Yeah. Was technically good? Yeah. Artistically good? Yeah. But just, metal is an acquired taste. We'll just leave it at that. George Coleus. Yeah, there you go, Jimmy James. But definitely Gene. Gene's amazing. Nick Barker's an amazing. Frost. Oh, man. I've got some stories about Frost. And Jan Hellhammer is just an awesome drummer as well. Lots of lightning in the area. Hope you can stay online. Well, Texas Sheep Lady, my area or your area? So, and don't get me wrong, like Yankees, like I've always been a Ginger Baker fan. I like drummers in general, but my particular taste, what's up, Brother Gas? My particular taste in drummers is very, very specific. I mean, Gene Hoglan, yeah, Gene's amazing. Gosh, I can see his face. The drummer who was before him, though, on the album before Individual Thought Patterns. Sean Reinert. Sean Reinert was amazing. Just an amazing drummer. So, anyway, we're in the weeds over here. Let's see. Joey Jordison. I think Joey's overrated, honestly. Buddy Rich was awesome. Symphonic Metal, anyone? Yeah, big fan. Big fan. Vinnie Paul. Vinnie Paul was amazing. I will read you an exact text to my brother Trevor from yesterday, because we were just talking about Vinnie Paul yesterday. And I said this exact words. I said, Vinny could play a pocket so heavy you wanted to die, but we're afraid to die because then you'd miss the rest of the song. Mad respect. So, Jay is yelling at me. The worst part of the drummer videos is your personal criticism. Your videos have brought my relationship with my son back to the father. Thank you, Barry. Jay, praise Yah. I know perfection is unattainable. I typical Barry BT text exactly. This is what we text each other when we're on the toilet bowl. I was on the toilet bowl when you texted me that, when I was texting you that, by the way, which should be expected. It's the only moments of free time I got. Shalom, Warthog, do the thing. I teach every Thursday morning, closed at Refuge, and it's not available to the public. It's just for the team. And we have hit 100 times what our standard is at Refuge. The standard is excellence. It's not perfection, because humans are incapable of perfection, but we should strive for excellence in the way we embody our core values, in the way we uphold our mission statement. The standard is excellence. And I'm not as good of a drummer as I used to be, because I don't do it every day anymore. I'm still pretty good, but there are guys better than me. There was a time 20 years ago, there wasn't a drummer you could name that I couldn't play their stuff, whether it's Buddy Rich or Neil Peart or Gene Hoglan or Trim or Frost or Hellhammer or Nick Barker. It's just everybody I heard. I was like, that's incredible. Right now on my drum warm-up list is Austin Archie. What's up, Jimmy James? Austin Archie's just insane. That guy's got the skills. All right, we're in a drum rabbit hole here. We've alienated most of the audience. I'm scrolling. I'm looking for more comments in all caps. Let's do it. Let's continue to try and provide some value here to Flo. Yeah, Silver Crane, 100%. Used to I've been at some shows that Flo was at. He's a good dude too. Okay, shalom. Joe Murillo. Questions in all caps. If we can't come up with questions, I will go to bed. Shout out from 3 years ago when we announced we had come out of my people. Your back porch with Twitch. What's up, Grumpy? Awesome. Bear Nation t-shirt. Rick S. I think there's Bear Nation t-shirts at www.bearindependent.com. bearindependent.com. Hey, listen, believe me, when I give you guys marketing advice and branding advice, take it from the guy that has a website, bearindependent.com. I know how to spell independent, but these thumbs are still too big. I still mess it up. And most people don't know how to spell independent. So when you're trying to drive traffic to your website, to this day, Lauren at Refuge, I know her sister makes candles. I know they're available online. I don't remember what her freaking brand is called. I've told her 100 times. Not 100. That's hyperbole. I've told her 10 times. Your sister needs to have a website called laurenssisterscandles.com. That's it. She's like, I don't want to do it. It's not the brand. Even if it's just a redirect to her actual brand, because then I'd be live, like, you need candles? Lauren's sister makes candles. Just go to laurenssisterscandles.com. Okay? So, Deuteronomy 8:10. Now here's the meat of the word. Here we are. Pray after meals or before or both? Well, the Christians say we pray before meals. The Jews say you pray after meals. Deuteronomy 8 verse 10. Hold on. Let me stick a bookmark into Zechariah 5. Deuteronomy. That's in the back of the book, right? Hold on, guys. Gotta find it. Gotta go to the glossary. Deuteronomy 8 verse 10. And you shall eat and be satisfied, and shall bless Yahweh your Elohim for the good land which he has given you. That certainly sounds like, by the way, Deuteronomy 8 is just a stellar chapter about, hey, you don't go getting a big head. The reason the Father's blessing you is not because you're cool, it's because he's cool. Okay? It certainly sounds like you say thanks after the meal rather than before. I don't think it matters, if I'm being perfectly honest here. 1 Thessalonians 5:17 says Sarah. Let's go to the other end of the book. Thessalonians is hard to find unless you're me. 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 17. Pray without ceasing. There you go. Literally had a bookmark in there. This was ordained. And so that's because we were in 1 Thessalonians 5 at the ruckus. So I think as long as you're thankful and you're saying thank you to Dad, the mechanics of it, the trying to reduce it to ritual matters a lot less. And I would submit doesn't matter at all versus what's your heart condition. Bear, will you be at Midwest Preparedness Festival Friday as well as tomorrow? I can't make it tomorrow. Have a safe trip. What's up, Frago out? Yes, we'll be there Friday morning, but not a whole lot of Friday morning because Joel Salatin was also going to be there Friday morning, and he and I are having a little rendezvous. Stay tuned on Patreon. Jonathan Thomas, JTT, man, you were an awesome child actor star, and now here you are in my live stream chat. Can you offer some words on dealing with spiritual doubts and attacks? I haven't been doing so well lately, just praying as much as I can for wisdom. Yeah, I can, because, bro, me too, okay? Me too. And if we're all being honest, probably most of us, right? Like, I don't know anybody. Wrong. I know one person, J.A. Dudley, who's just in a good mood, like, all the time. And if he is perturbed, it's like short term. Like, he's like, I'm just always thankful. And I'm like, I love that about you. I genuinely do. How the f do you do that? Dude, you should have a masterclass on how to be thankful all the time with J.A. Dudley. Like, that's worth $1,000. I'd watch it. But I digress. Me too. So can you offer some words on dealing with spiritual doubts and attacks? Yeah. Oh boy, can I. First thing is, material success does not equate to the Father blessing you. That's the first thing, because man, we especially, you know what you should do? Why don't you just go ahead and run like half a dozen businesses and a couple of ministries and tell me that revenue doesn't matter. Oh, it freaking matters. It matters a lot. But revenue does not equate to the Father blessing you. But it can feel like that, especially if you're a workaholic. Next, remember who you are, son. Remember who you are, daughter. You were known before you were formed in the womb. And the Father made you for this time, for a purpose, to be his hands and feet to serve your kingdom, and put very specific giftings and talents and delights in you, and has rejoiced over you every time you've won, and has wept over you every time you made the wrong decision, and has relentlessly pursued you to the point of becoming flesh and giving his own life so you could come home again, and rejoices, Exodus 15 verse 3, to do battle on your behalf. And you are known, you, little old you, are known by the creator of the universe. And that's not nothing. That's everything. So remember who you are. Remember your identity as a son or a daughter in the house of the Most High by the blood of the Son, that we are grafted in, and we do have access by the blood of Yeshua to the Most High, and that our requests are heard, and that our needs are met, and that we have authority over, we are given authority by God made flesh over this entire earth. And I'm not talking about some name it and claim it, get rich quick scheme masquerading as spirituality. I'm talking about real authority. It's ours. And the workmen, the harvest is great, but the workmen are few, man. We gotta step up and remember who we are. And oh no, it's hard. Yeah, it is. And I go through this too, man. I'm like, it's hard. This sucks. Where's the joy? Joy. You keep saying that word. I don't think that word thinks what you think it means. It turns out it doesn't. Joy doesn't mean happiness. Happiness is it's a feeling. Maybe rises to the level of a biomechanical reaction in your brain. I know dopamine, serotonin, all that. I know maybe Dr. Trevor's cringing on the other side of the phone. But happiness isn't here. It's in the brain. That's different than joy. I know this because I did a word study on joy. Several months ago for a sister's funeral that I did not do a good job at. It was the first funeral I've ever done as a pastor, and it was not good. And praise the Father that brother loves me so much, and my congregation loves me so much that they tolerated just how freaking terrible it was, because it wasn't good. But I meant it. My intent was pure from the heart. But part of that memorial service was a word study on joy. And joy is the Hebrew word simcha. And simcha translates directly as the transformative fires of Yahuwah. It is when you are being burnt up so the impurities can be drossed off of you so that you can be refined by God himself. That's joy. Which is why James says, my brothers, count it all joy when you fall into various trials for the proving of your faith. So where's the joy? Oh, we're in the midst of it. And I have found myself saying to the creator of the universe on occasion, you must think a lot of me. And I have to be careful that that's not an audacious statement. That it's not, who do you think you are to put this much on my shoulders? It's the other way around. Who do you know I am that I can handle this much on my shoulders with you? And so, words of dealing with spiritual doubt and attacks, that's the doubt part. Remember your identity. The attacks part, first of all, not everything is a spiritual attack. Some things are just things. Sometimes the tire blows, not because it's a spiritual attack, but because you've known it's been low for a week and you didn't do anything about it, and then it blew. That's not a spiritual attack. That's a physical reality. Some things are spiritual attacks. There is power and authority in the name of Messiah. It is a very simple phrase. But simple doesn't mean weak. The simplest things are the strongest things. They just work. I rebuke you in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach and command you to flee. Be gone from me. And then, Father Yah, fill me up with your spirit, so that there is no void in me that is unoccupied by you. The demons hear his name and they tremble. Okay, we can use that. We are told to use that to our advantage and to the advantage of the kingdom. The attacks have power if you let them have power. The demons have power if you focus on them and give them your attention, which is intention. What's up, John Prine? The demons only matter if you let them matter. I'm at the point now where when I see something that I suspect or know is demonic activity, I just laugh. Like, really? We're doing this again? We're doing this again? The audacity that you have. If you were at the ruckus, you saw us baptize a demon-riddled man, me and Kyle. Not because I'm cool, because the Father's amazing. Yup, Aaron E., that guy. And me and Kyle just looked at each other and threw him into the water. He would not go. He went. The light shines into the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. The darkness comprehendeth it not. I think part of what makes spiritual struggles and attacks so scary is it makes it abundantly clear that the real world is not physical. The real world is spiritual, and that we are spiritual beings having a temporary physical existence. We're not physical beings that have temporary spiritual existences. And so it forces us, requires us to navigate this situation, to shift our focus from the make-believe physical world to the real spiritual world. And because we don't have enough context and dwell time with the real world, the spiritual world, we're very unfamiliar. And unfamiliarity breeds uncomfortability. But familiarity breeds comfortability, which means you spend more time in the spirit and laugh in the face of the demons when the attacks come. As far as doubts are concerned, you are important enough that God killed himself for you so that you could come home again. What is there to doubt? Anything that even begins to approach that from an argumentative standpoint is lies of the enemy. Simple as that. The problem is we suck at reminding ourselves of that truth. We suck at putting ourselves around people that will remind us of it if we can't remember ourselves. I hope that helps Frago out. Oh gosh, there's only been 900 other comments. Rick S. TJ, 4 years ago you prayed for me on a live about my back pain. Since then my back hasn't hurt once. Thank you. Well, that's not me. That's the creator of the universe. And it takes an outside influence, an intercessor, oftentimes, to make you aware of the fact that you can let it go. You don't have to carry the pain. You can just let it go. And this is why we should grieve our sin. Rick, not saying that your back pain is sin, but this is why we should grieve our sin, because it's supposed to go to Messiah. But he took it willingly, because he can. He's the only one who can carry it. Same thing with pain and injuries and sadness and guilt and shame and heartache. And it's not ours to carry. Just give it away, because if you don't give it away, it's just a matter of time before it cripples you or kills you. And so I would ask for all of you, what's shalom, brother Hans? For all of you, When was the last time you gave it away? Bless you, Ark Living. Bless you. Thank you. When was the last time you gave it away? What does your giving it away process look like? Do you try, because none of us are perfect, try to die to yourself, your flesh, daily, and walk in the Spirit of the Most High by the blood of the Lamb? Sometimes daily ain't enough. Sometimes it's minute to minute. How does one die to themselves daily? Derek, that's a great question. Get out of your own damn way. Let go. Release it. Let the Father do his job. Let Messiah do his job. And let the Holy Spirit do their job. The Spirit's job is conviction, reproof and instruction, and conviction. Okay, that's John chapter 16. That's not my job. That's the Spirit's job. Now, the Spirit can flow through me. My job is to be the best pipe I can possibly be so that living water can flow through me to wherever it needs to go. Okay? And listen, I say this with a finger pointed at you and all the rest of them pointed back at me. All right? This is not me judging you. But the Spirit's job is reproof and instruction. Giftings of the Spirit, conviction. That's the Spirit's job. The Son's job, Messiah's job, is that atoning sacrifice and walking in the model that we are supposed to walk after so that we can see, we dummies can see, how am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to walk this life out? You see those little "what would Jesus do" bracelets? Like that, but for real. And the Father's job is provision, protection, blessing. The provision, the full pantry, the bank account, the gas tank, the things that you need, that's the Father's job. Protection, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Our Father is a warrior, Exodus 15 verse 3, and he rejoices to go to war for his children. Not one hair on your head can fall without the Father ordaining it. Okay? It's provision, protection, blessing. What's a blessing? Blessing, so mercy is when you don't get what you deserve. You should have been punished, but you didn't get punished. That's mercy. Blessing is you did get what you don't deserve. I don't deserve my wife. I don't deserve my children. I don't deserve my house and all the provision that I have. I don't deserve all the awesome friends that I have. I don't deserve the life, the physical life that I get to lead in pursuit of the Most High and his Spirit. I don't deserve any of that. It's because I don't deserve it, but I have it. Those are blessings. Okay? So that leaves, what is my job? How do I die to me daily? Okay. Well, me can look at the cool new pickup truck and go, yeah, I worked hard for that. That's why I got that. No, you got it because Dad has blessed you. Yeah, we busted our ass and saved money to move out of North Texas into Oklahoma. Where did the money come from? Where did the work come from? Where did the land come from to buy in Oklahoma? All right, that wasn't me either. Have you heard, I must decrease so that he can increase in me? Yeah, it's like that, but without the cliches. Get out of your own way. Don't serve yourself. Don't serve your flesh. And this is a process too. Shaul of Tarsus talks about this. Nothing is possible without that. Exactly. Wife, I love you. Shaul, the Apostle Paul, talks about this. I do what I don't want to do, and I don't do what I want to do. Welcome to being a human, okay? Because none of us are perfect. If we were perfect, we wouldn't need a Messiah. But back to identity, we are worthy because of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world, by whose stripes we have been healed. It's not my worthiness. It's worthiness on loan from Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. We are sons and daughters. Not because we're cool, because he's cool. Okay? Derek, I don't know if that helps, but how does one die to themselves daily? That thought process. And constant continual prayer. 1 Thessalonians 5:17. Pray without ceasing. Dad, what do you need me to do next? Dad, now what do I do? But literally, sometimes moment to moment, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? But here's the trick. What do I do without the crushing weight of failure to perform, and then everything is broken and all the people I love die and I'm a failure? Not that. Because that's performative, flesh level, egotistical, it's all on me. But remember, provision's not my job. That's Elohim's job. That's Dad's job. Ask and it shall be given. Knock on the door shall be open to you. Okay. Dad, what do I do? Like, what's the next step in this process, Dad? And then I'll just do that, right? Knowing, in here, knowing. It's going to be okay. It's going to be better than okay. Because I'm doing exactly what Dad told me to do. G-Ball Vision, I love you back. By the way, second, call it shameless plug. If you're listening to this type of conversation at this channel for the first time, you've never heard me say anything like this before, would you please just watch one of the Bible videos? Any of them. We've read all of the New Testament on camera together, and most of the Old Testament. I'm on Zechariah 5 right now in the Old Testament. And I almost recorded it earlier today until I was like, oof, there's a ton here, and I am not adequately prepared to flap my gums at a camera about Zechariah 5 just yet. I need to do some more homework. But like, if you're hearing me as Brother Bear and Pastor Bear for the first time tonight, please just get a Bible and go watch one of those videos. For if you could even justify it this way, you would help me if you did that. Because if I make a video about Trump or Russia or Xi Jinping or Pakistan, India, or economic collapse, it gets a bazillion views. I make a video reading the Word of God, which is what he told me to do. It gets 10% of the views. And that's okay. Because the people who watch those every week and who watch the Torah portions on Patreon every week, thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. And none of that's monetized. None of that will ever be monetized. It's just there. And it's that real organic, non-algorithmic engagement, spending time in the Father's words, trying to sharpen one another. Frankly, it means the world to me. And frankly, it's what God told me to do with this channel. I had a guy years ago reached out via email. And he said, Bear, I got you all figured out. He said, you're just using this prepper stuff to get people to read their Bibles. I said, yeah, man. Ding, ding, ding. You get a sticker. You're correct. You did. You got me all figured out. That's my modus operandi. That's what I'm doing. That's it. If you haven't noticed, all these topical, fleshly, worldly things, I try and point back to the Father. Try and point back to the Father made flesh, the Son. Because that's what matters. Do we need to be able to navigate right now, 2025? Are nukes falling today or not? Yes. Yes, I would submit we do need to be able to navigate that. Is it more important than the disposition of your eternal soul? Not even a little bit. If nukes were falling right now, I don't want my family incinerated by a thermonuclear device. But that's over in an instant. I don't want them apart from the Creator for eternity. Because that never ends. And I extend that same sentiment to y'all. And there is a deal that is made with every man of Elohim. You go speak the word of Yah. If you speak the word of Yah, the blood of all these people, it's not on your head, but it's on theirs. If you don't speak the word of Yah, the blood of all these people is on your head because you refused to do the works of a man of Elohim. And I am neither the best nor the most qualified man of Elohim, but I am a man of Elohim. And that is not by choice. It is by calling. And I may not like it. There are times I kick against the goats. But it is what it is. It is true. And so I have to use this channel to talk about the Creator of the universe. And it is not lost on me that it's 9:43 p.m. Central Time. I'm about to go to bed, and there's still 516 people on this live stream right now. And I appreciate that because it's been an hour since we've talked about anything prepper related. And that's the point. I would love you back. And yes, praise Yah indeed. My wife is amazing. There's a proverb for that. Land and flocks and inheritance. All these good things come from the Father. But a good wife is from Elohim. And literally the moment I saw my wife, the moment I first laid eyes on her, and I had no relationship with God at this point, time stopped. Everything stopped. Like you just press pause on life. And the Creator of the universe said, that's your wife. And the implication was, you can stop looking now. I was like, okay. And then, boop, he hit the play button again and everything. I just kind of like rumbled back to life. I was like all disoriented, and my wife turned around and smiled at me. And I knew that moment, I love this woman. And 9 days later, I said, hey, this is gonna sound crazy, but I have to tell you this. I have to say this. She's like, okay, what's up? I was like, I love you. I am so in love with you. And she was like, oh my gosh, me too. I love you too, babe. She's like, oh my gosh, me too. I love you too. And I was like, whew, awesome. Do you want to do life together forever? And she was like, yep, let's do it. And here we are. What's up, 12C? And that was 14 years ago. Praise Yah. That's a blessing. I don't deserve my wife. I don't deserve my kids. I don't deserve this channel. I deserve eternal damnation and death. That's what I deserve. I should be dead. Clinically dead. 6 times that I can remember. 6 times that I know of. 6 times. I've lost. How many of y'all have been to class when we talk about irreversible hypovolemic shock, which is a result of 50% or more blood loss, total blood volume? I've lost more than 50% of my blood volume twice. I should, statistically, because you got a 50-50 chance of dying. I should statistically be dead Just from those, one of those two already. Nope. Why? Why me, Father? Why you, Father? Because he made you for this. That's the thing to remember. When it's hard, when it's scary, when you're uncomfortable, when you don't want to, he made you for this. And it's only the whispers of the enemy that can and oftentimes do talk us out of that. But faith, my brothers and sisters, is completely illogical. The logic and the whispers from the enemy are in your brain housing unit. They're above your neckline, right up here in between your ears. The spirit of Elohim, the Ruach HaKodesh, dwells bodily in the center of your chest. Bless you, Torah prepper. Bless you. Thank you. Elohim lives here in the center of your chest. And it's not lost on me that I broke my sternum. I cracked my chest earlier in life. Maybe that was required, that a little bit of the light could seep in. Talk about misery. Hurts to breathe. Every breath. You are now painfully aware of literally every breath that you take for weeks on end, months on end. That's fun. But faith is illogical. It doesn't live in between your ears. It lives in the center of your chest. And don't let what's in between. I'm sending you this theology paper tomorrow, homie. 100% you are, brother. Faith lives in the center of your chest. That's the dwelling place of Elohim bodily in you, not between your ears. So don't let what's between your ears talk you out of what lives in the center of your chest. Okay? And we'll end with this question. Tuna, how do you keep your relationship and love with the Father and not taking him for granted or just a thing to do? How do you quit from going through the motions? Well, real tactical, practical. Because I'm human too. I'm maybe more human than most. Which is interesting. It's an interesting thing for a bear to say. I get wrapped around the axle sometimes. And what I will do is I will literally just sit and take inventory. Did I sleep last night? Typically the answer is yes. Not always, but typically the answer is yes. I did sleep last night. It might have only been a couple of hours. Or it might have been 6 hours, but was interrupted every 40 minutes by a baby. Okay, well, what a blessing that there was a baby to interrupt me. JC, bless you. Thank you. Did I sleep last night? Yes. Did I get a cup of coffee this morning? Indeed, I got two. Awesome. Do I have people that love me? Yes. Do I love them? Yes. Do I have food in my belly? Probably. If not, I know where to get some. There's a couple bucks in my wallet. Yeah. It might only be a couple bucks, but I got that. Do I have meaningful work to do? Yep. And a way to get back and forth to do it. Yep. Do I have a sense of purpose? Yes, I do. Am I covered by the blood of the Lamb? Yes. Is there anything that I can do that can separate me from the love of the Most High by the blood of the Son? Yeah. Am I doing any of it? No. Or, I'm not, so I need to tighten my shot group in this one area. Okay, then repent. What does that look like? Father Yahweh, forgive me for I have sinned. I'm falling short in this area and I need help in this area. Father, help me to do better in this area. And I know that you will guide me by your Holy Spirit, your Ruach HaKodesh, to not do this thing, whatever it might be, whatever it might be. Okay, and then change your behavior. And here's the thing. You're never going to fully remove sin from your life. But if you can increase the distance in between incidents of sin, okay? Instead of doing it constantly, you put a little bit of space in between it. then a little bit more space in between it, then a little bit more space in between it. Okay, just like an alcoholic. Can't promise you I'm going to be sober for the rest of my life, but I can promise you I'll be sober today. Right? One day at a time. Says the guy about to take his second sip of whiskey this evening, maybe third. But go with the analogy here. You increase the distance in between incidents of sin. And that's called sanctification. The process of becoming a saint. Okay. Also, Dr. Trevor says this, and it's phenomenal. If you know what your triggers are, they're not triggers anymore. So if there's situations or people or existential crises rectangles that you know, if I talk to this person too long, I'm going to get mad. If I look at this thing too long, I'm going to get lustful. If I sit on my ass too long, I'm going to get lethargic. You know that, okay? Don't do that. Be strong enough to not do that. Okay? So I take inventory. Literally, systems checks. Food, water, shelter, check. People that love me, check. People that I love, check. Meaningful work, check. A couple bucks in my pocket, check. Sense of purpose, check. A way to move about the battle space, check. Still breathing, check. What am I so pissed off about? Now here's the inverse of that. Instead of taking the Father for granted, now I've done my inventory, I've done my systems checks. Now, Father, thank you that I woke up this morning. Thank you that I got 2 hours of sleep last night. That's way better than 0. Well, why'd you only get 2 hours of sleep? Well, because the baby was doing gymnastics on my forehead, literally, in bed. Okay, Father, thank you for the baby. And while I'm thinking about it too, thank you for my oldest daughter. Thank you for my son. Thank you for my younger daughter. Thank you for my wife. Thank you for this house that you've provided. Thank you for all my awesome neighbors, my brothers and sisters, my friends, my mag, my tribe, my assembly. And I just start praying in concentric rings out from my house for people. I've done that without even knowing it for like an hour. That's another thing about being in the spirit. Physical time does this weird thing. The Father's not subjected to 4-dimensional space-time. But I'll start saying thank you for all the things that I'm taking for granted. Thank you for this truck. Thank you for the diesel fuel in it. Thank you for this building that used to be a Family Dollar that's now filled with a medical company that saves people's lives. Thank you for this ministry that was started in a minivan that's now got employees and a board of directors and heavy equipment, and just wherever there's a hurricane or a tornado, man, we're up, and it's staffed by volunteers, and it's amazing. Thank you, Father, for that. Thank you that you told me to build a house for rescued kids. And you've not only provided the funds to build the house, but the people to build the house and the heavy equipment for me to sit on, and the field teams to go rescue the kids, and the board of directors and all the donors and all the prayer teams, and down to the little old ladies in Wisconsin who are, quote, making the quilts for the kids' beds. Thank you. And you do that enough times, it's like, what are you so worried about? Because in a very real way, you're reminding your psyche of all the wins that you've had in Elohim up to that point. And I say this in love, if you can do that and not feel moved by the Spirit, there's probably some psychopathy there. You're probably a little cluster B personality complex, maybe some brain chemicals that need to be looked at. Because when I feel lower than whale dung, or I'm just pissed off, and I just start itemizing my wins in the Father, they begin with, thank you that I'm breathing air right now. By the time I get to the end of it, we've started at me respirating, and we've ended with kingdom impact that has been allowed to pour through me. That is the Father's impact, not mine. It's not mine. I'm just a willing, sometimes unwilling participant in it. And as a result of being a willing, sometimes unwilling participant in it, I am blessed beyond measure. I'm not a rich man. That's not how I quantify blessings. Financially, materially. But I am so blessed. Bless you, Rescue. Thank you. And I know I'm on the right track, even if I veer a little to the left, a little to the right. I know I'm on the straight and narrow path, because the Father keeps putting people in my path as signposts, as prophets, to speak to me and to speak life into me. I mean, the rabbi picked up from Israel and flew over here to pray over me and to make sure that I understood that Hashem, the creator of the heavens and the earth, has put a blessing on me, and that I don't take that for granted. What? Do you realize how crazy that sounds? The rabbi is woken up in the middle of the night and God says, go to Oklahoma and bless Bear. What? I was talking to Mike on the phone. Mike's like, hey, there's a rabbi here. He's got to talk to you. And I'm like, what the hell is happening here? Are you checking for weapons? What is going on? He's like, Dove, which is Hebrew for bear. He's like, I must teach you. I must pray with you. I must tell you. Hashem he's put a blessing on your life. Okay. Well, I was pretty certain of that, but thank you. And he's like, you don't understand. You don't understand. I had to come here. I had to be obedient to Hashem. I had to come here and tell you and look you in the eye and make sure that you know. The creator of the heavens and the earth moved a man from half a world away through the air to come to nowhere, Oklahoma, to walk into my office on a Monday morning to make sure that I know that the Father loves me. And therefore, I don't get to take any of this for granted. Now let's take it one step further. The creator of the heavens and the earth has moved four-dimensional space-time to orchestrate that me and you and 532 of our brothers and sisters would be in this moment, at this time, on the arc of eternity, to make sure that you know that the Father loves you and has put a blessing on your life. Pipes, so that the Spirit may flow. It is 10 p.m. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I will see you when I see you. Bless y'all. Shalom.